Ladies and gentlemen, after several weeks of stringent corona measures, the relaxation from the beginning of May was a relief. Businesses were restarted, greater social contact was possible, shops and later the hospitality industry reopened. It was a relief for many people, but also for our economy. Economic activity has been cautiously picking up since May. The number of temporary unemployed fell by 20% that month, and those who were temporarily unemployed were usually unemployed for a shorter period of time. With the temporary unemployment, we helped healthy companies get through the crisis. At the peak of the lockdown, 1.2 million employees from 140,000 companies benefited from the system. Many sectors have opted to make their employees unemployed a few days a week. This allowed them to keep running, and they didn't have to lay people off. The economic fabric thus remained largely intact. The fragile restart does not alter the fact that the situation is serious. We will end this year with an economic contraction of 9%. Even during the oil crisis in the 80s, we lost a maximum 1.5% in 1 year. It will take 3 years to return to the same level as before the corona crisis. And no matter how well the temporary unemployment supports companies, a number of companies will not survive the crisis. What our economy needs to recover is confidence and investments. Many people have kept their wallets closed in recent months, sometimes as a cautious choice because they were uncertain about the future, but also a lot of expenses were simply not possible due to the corona measures. 20 billion euros have been saved than normal. The important thing now is to give people confidence in the economy so that no longer put off spending. Much of the work I'm doing today as a Minister of Economy and Consumers is aiming at achieving this. And we must not ignore the fact that some people have been hit harder by the crisis than others. We therefore provide additional financial incentives for the most vulnerable groups, such as the poor, the elderly, or people with disabilities. It remains to be seen what the longer-term impact will be on them, and we will have to continue to monitor this in the coming years. In addition, investments are needed. Where do we want to go after Corona? What else do we want to do? As a society, we need to address these questions. The investments we make must be geared to that. I'm thinking, for example, of the transition to a climate-neutral economy or digitization. Future-oriented investments will benefit our entire society. They create new and sustainable jobs and strengthen our prosperity. As a government, we must be an engine for such investments. I thank you and wish you all an exciting debate.